I welcome you all to our first lecture on Introduction to Computer Studies. So today we're talking about understanding the computer. So we know the computer, we give the computer a set of instruction and it's carrying out that as how does it actually do it? Okay, now can somebody tell me, hello Miss Debbie, pick up your phone. I'm doing that right now. Are you telling me to call? So who should I call? Okay, dial your friend, Mrs. Peter. So I'm calling Mrs. Peter. It's actually ringing now. And oh, Mrs. Peter, speak to the call. Hello, Mrs. Peter. So that's just how the computer operates. We give it an instruction and it performs without questioning our command. So in this lecture, we're going to be learning on how the computer is able to process our instruction. And I promise you it's going to be very, very exciting. So let's move to the class.
So, welcome to the class. And I told you that topic today is understanding the computer. So, at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define a computer, explain what data processing, data information, and many other things, yeah, methods of data processing, and mention the computer. So, now the computer. You see, the word computer is derived from the word compute, which means to calculate. So, now a computer is an electronic machine that can is an electronic machine that is used for performing calculations and controlling operations that can be expressed either in logical or numerical terms. Or we can say a computer is an electronic device that performs both mathematical and non-mathematical operations with the help of instructions to process data to achieve the desired result. I know most of you are wondering now that data. So what is that data? Don't worry, we'll come to that in the lecture. Told you that we're going to talk about data as well. So the application domain of a computer depends totally on human creativity and imagination. That is, because when we give it our instructions, it helps it process it and gives us backwards information. So it covers a huge area of applications including education, industries, government, medicine and scientific research, law, and even music and art. So computer is vast, it is everywhere, it is globally accepted. So now, the computer is a programmable machine that can store, it can retrieve and process data. This means that it can execute a program list of instructions and respond to the instructions that is given. So, when we want to say, how do we tell someone that, okay, what is a computer? Who wants to try? Oh, well, yes, there's actually a simple way of saying, okay, a computer is an electronic device designed to accept data, perform mathematical or logical operations at a high speed, and display the results. So I want you to take note of two keywords here. We have data and we have what? Information. But firstly, before we go into that, let us look at the diagram here. Before we can see a monitor, we can see the keyboard, we can see our system units, a printer, a mouse. So we can see the mouse and the keyboard, they are known as what? The input devices. The monitor and the printer is known as what? The output devices. And we have our CPU as a system unit. So now let's, what do we have next? So we have data and information. So data can be defined as a representation of facts. Yes, we can say yes. Data is a representation of facts because what? It means our facts, observations, assumptions, or occurrence. It comes in what? In different form. Most precisely, data are representative of facts pertaining to people, things, ideas, and events. And they can either be represented by symbols or alphabet. Numerals or other special symbols are all known as what? Data. So you'll be wondering that, okay, this data, how do we come about data? Let's take for instance now you want to cook. All our spices or every other ingredient that we are putting together to make a pot of vegetable soup are the data collected. Then after we process it, which is the cooking, it brings us a very delicious vegetable soup, which serves as what? As our information. So now, what is information? What is information? So the information can be defined as data that has been transformed into useful form for specific purpose. Information can be defined as data that has been transformed into a meaningful and useful form for specific purpose. So the information now is subjected to what? To a process, because after it has been transformed, it gives us what? A meaningful result. So let's take for instance, if we go to a departmental store, you want to get you get a number of items, you've gotten everything you need, then you want to use your card to pay, and the cashier is asking you, okay, what let me see the number of things you've purchased, the price, the tax, the amount you ought to pay. They are all the data items that if you put these items together, they represent information about a business transaction. So the data gathered together when being processed is known as what? Information. And so now, how does this data and information? They cannot just have, we cannot just have from data to information. We have been mentioning process. Let us now look at what is processing. Data processing. So data processing is the collection and manipulation of items of data to produce meaningful information. So the data processing now, next from what we can see now, we have input. The input is what? Is our data. Then it goes to process. The process is the place that it takes what? Transformation. It gets transformed. Our data gets interpreted in the process, then it gives us what? An output. And the output serves as what? It serves as our information. So data processing is the collection and manipulation of items of data to produce meaningful information. So the data processing have involved many electronic means, it can come manually. So a data processing is also called an automated data processing. A data processing is also called an automated data process, because what? It takes the raw data through the power of a computer automation and produces information that a set of program application has been validated. So a data processing system actually takes the data in its raw form, and through the power of computer automation, it produces information. Like when we want to prepare yam, we get our yam, we cut it, we wash it, we put it on the fire. At when our yam is not cooked, or yes, it's in its raw form, then it's being processed. The act of washing it and cutting it, that's the process. Then after we put it on the fire for it to get cooked, that it comes out cooked already, it's done and ready to be served. Then that's what the information. So we have the input. From the input it gets processed, then we have what? Output. So from the diagram we saw on our second slide about we saw the computer system, we can see the input devices there. We saw the mouse and the keyboard, which is used to what? To send data into the computer. Then we have the output device, which has as our monitor and our printer. So our printer enables us to get a hard copy of our information. So let's this data processing, does it just happen like that? No. We have the methods of data processing. The methods of what? Data processing. So did we just start processing data overnight? No, it didn't just happen. So we have different way of what? Of data processing. The first one we have here is the manual method. See, data is processed manually without any machine. So okay, let's take for instance the bakers. Before, when they want to mix the egg and the sugar together, they will take their wooden ladle, mix it together with their butter to make a batter. They we continue to risk. But now we have the food processor, but majority started from doing it was manually before we were able to go mechanically. So we can look at our friend here. Let's call our friend Joshua. Our friend is trying to compute some large data and is working on it. And oh, he's tired of using this manual method. He's tired of taking using pen and paper. He's tired of performing logical operations manually because it keeps making mistake. And he's saying, "Oh, can see him. He's flinging the papers away. I'm tired of using manual method. I keep making mistake. What next? Okay, let's tell our friend that okay, if you don't want to use the manual method, you also have the mechanical method. Have the mechanical method now. So in this method, data is processed using devices like typewriters, mechanical printers, or other mechanical devices. Ah, will this be able to solve our friend's problem now? Okay, now he has the typewriter. How long will he be able to compute with the typewriter? Because he's more or less like he's doing the work still manually, even if he's still using the typewriter. But okay. Oh, I'm tired of this mechanical method. He's also tired of this mechanical because what these are though they are faster than the manual mode, but it still forms the early stage of data processing. Now he's tired. Okay, let's help our friend out. Let's tell our friend, okay, you don't have to bury yourself using the mechanical method. Let's electronic data processing. It refers to the use of automated methods to process commercial data. Typically, like we use our simple relative activities to process large volumes of similar information, like I told you, like our stock updates, our inventory, our banking transactions made at the market, system billing, booking for an air reservation, sorry, and billing for utility services. Yes, we can do that electronically now. So now, say the electronic method now uses what the data is processed through a computer. So now the electronic method allows us to compute our data. We're using what? The computer. And the data and set of instructions given to the computer as input, and the computer automatically process the data according to the given set of instructions. You see, I told you that the computer performs every task we ask it to perform. So you can see our friend is happy now. You can see he can now do his computation using Excel. And he's so happy now. Hooray! Electronical method is reliable. Yes, you can see. Why does he know the electronical method is reliable? Let's see what now we are moving to characteristics of a computer. Yeah, you can see we have the characteristics of a computer. You can see it has speed, accuracy, diligence, versatility, reliability, automation, and memory. Let's start by looking at the speed. So do you know that the computer now is now faster than any other machine? Like I give an example of using your manually the manual procedure for baking cake, like having to mix the butter and the sugar with a wooden ladle in a bowl by yourself, or using mixer, the food processor. You can see that the one will be faster because before you get your desired batter shape as a baker, it's going to take you much more time than when you are doing it electronically. So the computer is more faster. It gives you the speed at which it brings out the result is not similar to human work. Then accuracy, that means the high speed of processing by computer is accompanied by high accuracy result, because when a computer is programmed without errors, then the accuracy of the output is always relatively assured. That means there is a very low tendency, or there is no even tendency they are going to make mistake at all because you are using the computer. Then we have automation, that's automatic operation. Like the electronic computer can carry out sequence of many data processing operations without human interaction. It doesn't need the computer will just perform the series of instructions without what little or no human interaction. Then we have the compact storage, that's the memory. So the electronic data processing have the ability to store large amount of data in compact and easable retrievable form. So the computer doesn't misplace your folder. You don't have to start looking for, where did I keep this file? Where did I keep it? Then the computer is reliable. It is reliable. That's the measurement of the performance of a computer. which they measured against some predetermined standard for operations without any failure. The computer is reliable. The major reason behind the reliability of the computer is that at the hardware level, it does not require any human intervention between its processing operations, and the computers have built-in diagnostic capabilities which help in continuous monitoring of the system. So then this case is versatile. They are quite versatile in nature. That means they can perform multiple tasks at a time. You can operate on Word, do PowerPoint, open your Excel at a time. So they can be used in many fields. Some areas in which the computer can be used include payroll, exam marking, accounting, military, teaching and learning, designing and manufacturing, entertainment, airline, seat reservation. So the computers are what they are very, very versatile. When we talk about diligence, that being a machine does not suffer from human trait of tiredness and lack of concentration. The computer doesn't pause and say, "Oh, I have to go and eat." No. So the computer is what is very, very what diligent. So in our next class, we'll be looking at various data processing activities. But I know you have some questions. Okay, so let me also questions. Okay, questions can be forwarded to my email as well. Yeah, thank you, and see you in the next class.